Yes, welcome to the Mile High Hotspur. My name is Leo Kois, and I'm joined by another one of my homies, a C-38 specialist. He goes by the name of Austin. How are we doing, my homie? There we go. Breaking it in. How we doing, bro?
Good, man. Good. The weather finally lightened up. Uh, we got smoked in Vancouver last week, but the weather's softening the blow a little bit. So is the quarters, I gotta say.
It's actually been some pretty good weather, bro. Yeah, kind of like that Vancouver result. We got some shit weather here in the city and it went away and now we're getting some good weather. Hopefully that's a good sign of things to come because like we kind of were just we were just chatting about, things to come with the Rapids and it's not going to get any easier for us this weekend at least compared to what we had this past weekend against a tough opponent in Vancouver, my homie. Which is, I guess, the place we're going to start off with this episode today will be just kind of recapping, if we can, what happened in Vancouver. We will get into some of the statistical value of this game if there was any for the Rapids fans. But still, I mean, there is still some things to learn from a defeat, and I can honestly say I think Chris Armas will be the first one to tell you that. Even in defeat, there's
Absolutely.
still things to learn. And so. Yeah, let's dive into it, my homie. First of all, bro, I just want to say thank you for joining the stream. And can I just start off with your thoughts on what was, let's just face it, my homie, a tough game against a tough opponent in Vancouver.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I love watching it. It's very cool to
Cheers, bro.
show off my fucking scarf wall at least. Maybe too proud of it. Um, Honestly, like the stats don't tell a super flattering pick story. Um, and it's not like we were the better team by any stretch of the imagination. But for like the first 20 minutes, we're all over Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like one, I think it was like a missed, it was like a clearance, like a tackle that bounced straight into stride for their attacker or whatever. And Keegan comes in, saves the day. And he had to play like that two or three times, but we just look clueless. We look like fucking training cones. Cole Bassett is like throwing a tantrum the whole game. There were a couple of like pretty bad moments. I think, like you said, I think even Armis, I think the players would agree with that. But generally, I thought that we did look positive. Cabral, I think, who struggles to really maintain like real consistency. I thought he looked a little bit better than he did last week, which is a little bit better than the week before. I think
Yeah.
progress with Cabral. Um, Ollie looked great. I mean, Cheeto looked great. Um, Cheeto? Maybe somebody mixed up. Sorry, I tried to memorize my. Yeah, Cheeto, of course. Oh, he's the only one in the greens on my stat board here.
In the
Actually,
greens.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tito's good. I had Brian White on my fantasy team though because I know better. You don't just go to Vancouver and shut him out. And Brian White is one of the most dangerous strikers in the league. But that's neither here nor there. I thought we did decent. It's AstroTurf, so the ball moves a little bit differently. I don't know if that like somehow threw the guys off or something. Our shape looked okay, but I wouldn't say that it looked any better than okay, right? It looked like a couple of simple 1-2s, and they would chop us up, and we just looked, like I said, like just sort of training cones. Rapids had the best seat in the house, right, on Saturday. They had the closest seats in the stadium to the action. So
That's crazy. I've never
disappointing
heard that one.
generally, I think, but I mean, Georgie had some good looks. Navajo was doing his thing. I mean, I feel like as soon as he can get, one or two goals, I think Navajo, it kind of feels like that moment, right? Am I crazy? Is it just like, I'm being hopeful and I'm sort of,
No,
they
no,
call that
no,
like
no.
confirmation bias or whatever. It's a striker sort of phenomenon, right? And we know that he's a quality striker. And it really seems like he's almost going to connect on a couple of these runs. He still is hesitating. He doesn't know if he wants to shoot or pass.
The thing about the thing about Hoffa, and I think he he falls really into the stereotypical. And this is going to sound borderline kind of off there, but Brazilians have a knack of needing to play good to have that charisma about
Yeah,
them, to have that trait about them, to have that to have that
yeah,
swagger about them. And if they're scoring goals, especially as a striker, and I see this and yourself too, homie, not to go off. I always refer to Tottenham when I talk about the Rapids as well, because we have an R9 at Tottenham as well, and a lot of similarities between the two players. Like I said, it seems to be not just a Brazilian thing, but more like a South American,
yeah.
more like I don't want to say it's an ego trip type of thing, because it's definitely not. Hoffa's definitely down to earth, but who's not going to benefit off of scoring these goals and getting in rhythm and being
Yeah, it's. I mean,
relevant in the highlights and stuff like that. So but you're right, bro, you're not wrong for thinking that Hoffa's just a goal away from going on like this run, you know what I mean?
it really seems like he's knocking on the door. He's making good runs. He got chopped down when Charlotte was up here. He got cut down um, in the box. We get the penalty. I don't think it was controversial that he didn't take
Yeah.
that penalty. Because imagine if he doesn't score that. I mean, knows
He's
what
not the
gonna do to
most.
himself,
He's not the most. He's not the most confident penalty taker, my homie. My opinion. He's not the
I,
most confident
I
penalty
mean,
taker that we
like
have.
that Leagues Cup run last year, I thought was the most confident I've ever seen him play. Right,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
scorching them. But since then, it's been. I mean, I think it's fair to say like pedestrian for the Rapids in general. But I think Hoffa. I mean, you can see him busting ass 90 minutes every single game. He's not phoning it in. He's not pouting or pissing around the field or whatever. He's playing every minute, and I mean, he's consuming one or two defenders, if not center backs or whatever. He's creating space. He's doing his job, right? Other than scoring, I think you got to say he's playing well, right? Obviously, a striker must score, etc. Our midfield is all over the place. Atencio he was invisible. I don't know if they just marked him out of the game, or if he doesn't like playing on turf, or something about being so close back home to Seattle got him feeling weird or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what his deal was, but he did not perform well. I'm trying to use stream appropriate language and not
No, bro.
about
I
the
mean,
fans
you
far.
you you speak however you want to,
Well,
bro.
he
The
was
only
fucking
thing that
bad
I do,
then.
bro.
He was bad. He was really bad. Bassett is like throwing a tantrum. I'm not sure what Cole's deal was. His game was sour. Hell, more Spurs.
The homie
No
Kellum.
more Arsenal guys. You gotta don't tell them the wrong day of the stream. But Bassett, I don't know what his deal was. I mean, he skill wise, talent wise, what he's got in his locker, etc. Should be quality, right? It's fair to expect Bassett to show up and go to work for us, and he just didn't Saturday. And I mean, like he high fives his brother, bro. It's like his brother's first MLS appearance or second MLS appearance, whatever it is. And like, just like, I mean, I
He
thought
was
his
pissed
behavior
off.
was yeah. I mean, yeah,
He was
like
pissed off.
fair. He's pissed. He's a competitor, whatever. But I mean, it didn't look
Yeah.
like it looked like. I mean, it looked petulant. And I mean, it was embarrassing watching him. Sort of the way that. I mean, I guess he's kind of a younger guy, kind of. But
Yeah.
I thought Bassett was super disappointing. Atencio, just his attitude didn't seem like shit, but his play definitely was. And that's a night when Cabral performed. So I mean, I feel like I don't know. It seems like a little bit weird. It seemed like once they punched us in the nose, that one sort of slip up that allows that kind of 1-2. Brian White, it's basically a tap in, right? Stefan misses it. It's a weird angle. He sort of scuffs the shot. And then that just completely takes the wind out of our sails. And we didn't really have a whole lot to say. I mean, they scored the second one in the second half, or in the first half again. And it was a similar sort of, well, we almost conceded like 2 or 3 minutes in, or whatever that first, ping around mistake was. So it just looked like
the first goal. I'm sorry, homie. The first goal where we've given these goals up time after time, bro. The left back pings it over, big switch. and the player just dinks it into the box, and it's an easy goal for them on the first one, which is worrying because they definitely our back line did get carved up as well for the second goal as well, right?
The whole midfield did. They were
I know
just
the whole
watching it.
yeah
The whole team
yeah
was all watching,
yeah.
right?
That's what it is, bro. I actually told myself that when I was watching the game. I said, dude, they're watching the ball just as much as I'm watching the
Yeah,
fucking ball.
that's why I said they got better seats than I do, man. That must be
Yeah,
exhilarating for these guys. They're watching a
yeah,
great
that's funny.
goal.
That's the first time I've ever heard that, and that's funny the way you put that. Kellum, we have breaking news on the channel. The homie Kellum had the interview a week and a half ago, got the job, and he's fucking starting. Let's go, my homie. He's buzzing, and I'm buzzing too. Let's go.
Congrats, Cal.
Edward Y of Oz. It looks like playing at home at the Big Dick Stadium makes no difference. I I think we are. I think it's two mentalities, of course. And Armas just came out today. I think they posted some sort of Instagram post where he's like, at home we're gonna ramp it up another level. You know what I mean? And I feel like I always plead that case for the piddies on this channel that at home it is a different story for sure. But
I think
we kind of even talked about this on the last stream. When you're flying to these another country, really another country to play a game of ball. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's gonna be wear and tear, and it looks like we left our game at DIA, homie. Well, actually, it looks like they fly out of Arapahoe, but looks like they left their game in the luggage at home, bro.
It really does, man. It wasn't very good. A couple of decent performances. Georgie was up for it. Cabral was up for it for once. Laraz looked
Marion,
good.
her Leon. Yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah,
it's still sharing the screen right here. It does show the momentum on here on the left hand side, very small. The Rapids did start off on the right foot, like the homie has been saying, and then the momentum shifted, and that's when they ended up getting that first goal. Rapids did not have any answer for them whatsoever throughout the game. In fact, Zach Steffen was it says here a 6.8, 6.8 for rating, but had it not been for Zach Steffen, that could have been maybe 5-zip, 4-zip easily.
yeah.
Zach Steffen, again, like, even though he got 2 goals put past him, it is a team effort. Like you said, and I said, the defense and the midfield got carved up. But Zach Steffen kept us in the game for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of good, bro, that at least on these games that we've been Jekyll and Hyde, and I say that because the offense would be either on point and the defense is not, or vice versa. We've been like that this season, bro. We've had maybe 2 performances this whole season where we had both ends of our pitch just firing on all cylinders, and those were the games, of course, when we had good end result. And when we're having these Jekyll and Hyde performances, it's gonna turn out bad for us, my homie. We're not gonna pick up points. And if we're having Dr. Jekyll and Hyde performances on the road, that's even worse because to start the season off, homie, our performances that we had were on the road. We picked up these points on the road, and we were struggling more at home. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say we turned a corner and it's backwards now, but it seems to be that at home it will be a different animal, and on the road we're gonna have to really just fight for the points.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot to say about the like home field advantage stuff. Friendly atmosphere, should be more familiar, like weather and stuff like that. But I sort of roll my eyes sometimes when we play the strength at altitude thing too hard. Like I'm gonna get out of breath for sure, but I'm not a professional athlete, right? And we know for sure in the second half, teams get tired, teams get sloppy, for sure, right? Like objectively, we can measure that. But that doesn't make us pass better, right? It doesn't.
No,
That
you're
doesn't.
absolutely
That doesn't
right.
like reduce the other team's like tactical like capacity, right? They plan
Yeah,
to be tired in the second half a little bit more
that's
so than they would be at sea level, right?
yeah.
And so it's like a fun thing to play with. I don't know if you saw the first tifo that we released this season. It was the ski night tifo. and it's a rapid man like shooting up over a mountain off like a ski jump, and it said strength at amplitude, like ski
Yeah.
jumpers talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a
Is
fun
that the one
one.
they have now at the bottom of this? They have at the bottom of the supporter
No,
section, right?
so
They have the two things.
so our normally those cards we have to block those rows off at the bottom of the section because of the smoke like feature that they do on
Oh
rolls.
yeah.
So we had the Loteria cards that were from an older tifo. The Loteria cards tore up; they're all ripped up, and there was some rain games last year, especially in 23, and so they're sort of just in tatters right now. And so what we have now is from the Galaxy tifo last year. The bottom cards, if you remember, the Galaxy tifo was like the swamp monster coming up out of the middle of the section.
Coming out of
The card display up, the blue cards and stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. But anyway, I think that it looked like an attitude problem to me. To be fair to Vancouver, they were top of the West for a reason, and they've been on an upward trajectory for years. And I don't remember what happened with was it Sartini was their coach? He started picking fights with the media and shit. I don't know if he got in trouble with ownership or what. But this new coach, damn, I should have done better research. I can't remember who their coach is now either.
Don't feel bad,
homie. Coach has got him firing. Yeah, that's part. We're doing a live. The new coach.
Don't feel bad, bro.
The new coach has got him screaming though, dude. What we were just talking about, what they're only better than San Diego, who have no business being as good as they are, by like a draw. San Diego's got a draw, otherwise they'd both be on. Shit.
I'm gonna pull it up right now, right here.
Yeah.
There you go. This is the overall, right? Or is this just Western Conference?
West there.
West, yeah. I'm gonna go to the West, bro. I don't know why it's not gonna do all of it together here, but go ahead, my homie.
No. I mean, this is what I was saying, right? Like, if Colorado drew or cashed in a win in Vancouver, that would be like big news, right? We're better than we were last year. I think it's fair to say. I know it's a little too early and the points aren't there or whatever. But I think there's a lot of fair reasons and explanations for that. It's year 2 of the Armas project, a lot of turnover, kind of up and down the roster, with the exception. I mean, the superstars that we brought in are still there. Getting Navajo on a real contract instead of that loan, purchasing him out of his loan last summer is huge. I think there's a lot to be positive about. And I mean, we're in a gauntlet right now, right? We did but Portland came and punched us in the nose. That sucks. And then we played Charlotte at home. Everybody thought Charlotte was going to just murder us at home. And Zaha, you know what I mean? He's tearing up, these nobody Rapids. And he was out of gas. He was invisible the whole game. It's hilarious. And then we go to Vancouver on their silly ass like CF. What is it? Canadian football. What do you call it? CFL AstroTurf. It just didn't look very good. It didn't look like anybody wanted to be there. It looked like they'd rather be home watching the game. You know what I mean? Instead of, I don't know. They just didn't really look like they were in the mood. And I think it's, is that a coaching thing? Is that a captain thing? They eat bad fucking poutine at the airport or whatever. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you chalk that up to.
Yeah. I agree.
But it was disappointing.
We arguably had, one of the best performances the week prior to that game playing against Charlotte, right? Where we won 2-0. The whole team played well. And then, we travel on the road and kind of put up a fucking Charlotte-esque performance against Vancouver, bro.
Because
the game was
altitude, right? Charlotte's excuse is, we couldn't breathe. It's a mile in the sky, and it's too dry or whatever. Charlotte has excuses. What are we supposed to say?
I agree. I agree, homie. We just did not fucking show up. And then after going down 2-0, bro, did they even call? I think they even called one back. It could have been 3-0.
They did.
They ended up calling one back. So
it was like a passive offside on that. I mean, it could have been goal of the season. It was a fucking screamer from just outside.
It was a screamer.
Top of that volley. I remember we were watching at the bar and we just all sort of melted, just sort of sank in our seats. And then you see the referee. I can't remember. Is it Tori Pinso? Was it Pinso that was that was the
No clue, but
ref. You see her in the background kind of waving no goal. And I was like, guys, relax. It's fine. We're still in it. It's just 2-0 in fucking the
I
second
will
half or
say,
whatever it was.
homie, I complain a lot about the refs, but she handled that game pretty good that day. I'm not even gonna front. The amount of criticism I give to the refs, I can also say that I felt like that game, she did a good job that game, homie. Considering the fact that she watched a boring ass fucking game, but
Yeah, she had the best seats in the house for a shit game too.
yeah, she had some good, yeah, she did, my homie. Let's go, my homie. Big up to United Spurs of America. Subscribe to them, my homies. The United Spurs of America, leading the way for us American folks here. And he says, keep up the grind. I appreciate you, my homie. My homie's actually a FC Dallas fan. Jacob is
Spurs of
down there
America?
in Texas. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I don't want to take up Rapid's stream time talking about Dallas,
My
but
homie, we got
if you want to talk about Dallas, let me tell you where I got Perez and Mauro Diaz game worn up here in Colorado. That's a story for a different day.
nice, homie. Maybe the next time they play against Dallas FC, we'll have the homie on and do some sort of collabo, because I know
that was the first.
I know he likes to rock.
That
What's
3-3. That was the first bad one. That 3-3 up here.
Yes.
The altitude
Well, I
didn't
mean,
bother them, man.
it was but we ended up tying that one. So I mean, I could say that one was a bad one, but we came back twice that game. So I mean, it was a good performance. Just you know, big up to the homie Jared. How you doing, my homie? We have KTK. How you doing, bro? And then we have Vancouver slapped a 2-goal tariff on the Rapids. Get in. That's fucking funny.
It's international politics. It's cutting. You know what I mean?
Taxed us with the tariffs.
It feels like we
man,
deserve that. I saw a video. The Vancouver fans were like booing the national anthem, and you could just tell how much work still needs to happen. Because when they did that at that fucking hockey game, the whole news media was losing their mind about it. And I saw it on like an Instagram, like supporters cam kind of thing. Like I didn't hear anybody talking. Nobody gave a shit about. Yeah, I mean, I don't. To be clear, keep booing fascist America. I don't know where we want this to go, but that's cool.
Yeah. So looking at the table, homie, we were kind of just talking about, the Rapids are not. We're keeping relevant even with like I said a little bit earlier, these Dr. Jekyll and Hyde performances. There's still enough to keep us relevant in there, and even in the MLS you do have to what is it, to 8th place, 9th place, get the playoffs. So so yes, let's go. I was watching a bit of that. I didn't know how it ended up turning out, but my daughter actually she likes to watch Messi, so that's why the Inter game was on. But I can't say, hey, we're not gonna watch it, bro. I got to put it on for her, homie. I just had to. But I know we were gonna talk about the Vancouver game, and we definitely can here in a bit. But just. You said something earlier, bro, how we're in the second year of Armis, and we kind of were talking a little bit backstage about, just how down to earth, is that the right words that I'm looking for? Just how, open he's been with the fans, and just how open things are. How comfortable do you feel that, like, for right now in the time and place that we're trying to go? Because let's be real, homies, the Rapids are not going to be the #1 title contender. We've talked about this on a couple of streams ago that, as long as we can just continue to push and stay relevant and have some good performances and be up and amongst those top areas, you know what I mean? Is that an achievable goal, my homie, under this manager? How do you feel? You know what I mean about that?
Yeah. No, well, I think that's certainly an achievable goal. I think definitely coach is candid. He's professional, but he's also like personable, right? He's not like a robot. And you can see when they do the press conferences where he's got, Georgie and the player up with them or whatever, It doesn't look like, not everybody's got like a rod up their ass, like trying to memorize the lines that they've been practicing all day. They're like permitted to just speak and interact and be authentic. And like we were talking about before we went live, I've met him a couple of times. It's not like we're buddies of texting each other or whatever, but I've gotten to meet him out a couple of the events that he'll just show up to. And just a super candid dude. I mean, you can ask him a question and you can see him think about his response and actually respond instead of just like rattling off some canned answer that is so easy for a guy like a guy in his position to do. And like we were talking about before earlier, I think you see that in Mihailovic in the way that he speaks to the media. I don't really know a whole lot about him, like his personal. I don't know how he is. Maybe that's just Georgie. But it seems like there's a more casual is not the word, but like a more candid, like situation.
Physical, maybe, you know what I mean? Just like they just flow about the way they talk, bro.
Yeah,
That's how I feel. Like they just off the cuff, homie, whatever, just gets chucked at them. They're easily to just dish it back. Not like dish it back, but just answer right back with
be like an authentic response. You know what I mean? Like it's a real
an authentic
conversation.
response, homie. An authentic response. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the team played well, and next time we'll get them. We'll do our best. And the same shit everybody says at every interview. So it's cool. It's refreshing. And I mean, I think Coach Armas is refreshing. And maybe this is just the whatever sickness drives me to support teams like Tottenham and the Rapids, but I'm fully on board. I'll sink along with the ship of this like ultra attacking, like in possession. He wants like this 2-5-2 or whatever, however that works out. Like whatever psychotic attack possession triangle system he's trying to program into these dudes. Obviously, these guys are struggling to implement it so far in the season. But you can see moments where they're trying to get it off. I think it's our players. I don't think our forwards can really handle it. And we've got 2 8s, maybe 3 8s in Mihailovic all starting at the same time. We don't have enough like real like receivers, right? Cabral's not it, and he's not gonna be it. Maybe that's not fair to say, but I don't see any indication that he's really. I mean, he looked pretty good last year until the Galaxy injury, but pretty good that just meant that he was receiving passes and he wasn't like trying to do tricks through fucking 6 defenders instead of making the easy pass and building the play. So last year he got the basics right and he looked good. This year he's not getting the basics right again. So we'll see if he shakes that off. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an attitude thing or what. Yes, what Crash said. Concise. Well phrased.
He also said it is fair to say that Cabral is not him. Oh, my homie. To be fair, Austin did say, his performances are gradually starting to become probably a bit better, and it's starting to show because even to start off the Vancouver game, some of the bright spots, very early on, and it didn't last too long. Were Kevin Cabral. And yeah, I mean, you kind of said something too that stuck with me in the fact that he's gung ho on this system and he's trying to embed this into these players, and you also said how even though at times they may or may not be grasping the whole concept, he's still going for it. He's still trying for it. He's still putting Cabral in on the right side, and we're still trying these these Hail Mary type balls. And if it's gradually getting better, hopefully something works out. But yeah, no, we've no stranger on this channel. I talk about Kevin Cabral a lot because holding that DP spot or that tag or whatever. You know what I mean? Coming 5th year already now, right? 5th year in the league, needs to be providing a lot more than just should-haves and could-haves, I think, bro.
Yeah, dude. He's the fastest sprinter on the field. Great. He can't pass. He can't shoot. He can't touch a ball. He can't dribble a player. He can't read the field. He doesn't know where to go. I have a lot of negative things to say. I don't want to just shit on Cabral, but it just seems like
It's not that Cabral could. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Back to Crash.
It's back to Crash. It's not that Cabral couldn't be a good depth player. He is limiting our potential holding that DP tag. And not only that, maybe one of these younger players that will get the opportunity here in the near future might just be a bit more hungrier, possibly might just get some better luck, might get a better bounce, might whatever the case may be. At least there's probably still there's always going to be room for improvement, and I think that side of the pitch, especially up that high in the pitches, I hate to say this, but where the Rapids have the weakest link for this Armas system. However, centrally to Hoffa, I think he definitely complements this type of system that Armas wants to play, which he himself has said is like a mid block, but a higher up. And Hoffa is, I guess, you know what I'm going to start doing, homie? Not to go back to Cabral, but I'm going to start watching his off the ball movement and see what he does as far as like pressing, as far as like the buildup or whatever, because maybe something there that doesn't meet the eye, that the team is seeing, or that goes unseen by the eye that Cabral is doing. Yeah,
it doesn't show up in the stats, right? But I mean, so many things don't show up in the stats. Like that's not. You can't just look at the numbers.
Because stats. I can skew any stat right now, bro, to convince you that Cabral should be starting every game, or I either can or I can't. You know what I mean? That's just the beauty of the numbers. But I noticed with Hoffa that he doesn't bag the goals, but he's relevant in a lot of our build-up play. He's relevant in a lot of our pressing. He's relevant in a lot of what we're trying to do. So even if you're not getting the accolades of being the goal scorer, he's winning penalties, which I maybe Cabral has done a couple of times. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But maybe just putting yourself in dangerous positions goes a longer way. I don't know, bro, what goes on with that, but
and to be fair, right? Like that early game, again, we start super hot. Everybody's super fired up. We dominate the game for 15 to 25 minutes, and I think I admit that I think I would be singing a different tune. There was two. I don't know if you remember. There were two plays, those Hail Marys that just kept going. Just to Cabral, really the whole game, even after it stopped working. But there were two opportunities. Cabral gets it, beats his man. He's banging down the wing, and centers it into Navarro, who misses it by like an inch. It's on his shoelaces, right? Twice. It could have been Cabral to Navarro brace, and it wasn't. And I think moments like that, I think, are encouraging. His pace is absolutely an asset, and in those two moments, his decision making was correct. But I feel, I mean, it's like he gets frustrated, or I wonder if the DP tag, he's in his head kind of trying to be a superstar, or if like the pressure is getting to him or something. It seems like a mentality thing, right? It seems like somebody somewhere has seen that this guy can play, and there's something that is not translating to game day, right? And so I know that there's a lot of negative things that we can say about like Rapids scouting and stuff like that, and they don't always spend a lot of money wisely, but I think that they are now, right? I mean, Cabral is a player, but like, dude, Navajo, Mihailovic, just going down the line, Stefan,
Atencio,
Atencio is a crazy pickup, dude. Atencio is an impossible pickup. I don't know if that's coach or some staffer or what, but I don't know how we end up with Atencio.
He was. I think last episode with Crash, I was talking with him, and I even said, he Atencio will probably be on the bench at Seattle right now, had he not made the leap to come and join for the Rapids, you know what I mean, and picking up quality minutes right away. He hasn't played because he got injured a couple of times, but other than that, he's been a focal point
and saw minutes. Like he landed in on a weekday and saw the field that Saturday, right? I mean, I think that everybody should be high on Atencio. He had a really bad game in Vancouver. But besides that, he's been very impressive. He's looked great. I think he had an own goal against Portland too, I think. Was that first one?
That was
also fluky. Yeah. It's not fair. It's not like he shot it into the net or his positioning was trash. It was just freak
It's just a
accident.
bad bounce when it hit him. Yeah, it went into.
But
Yeah, no, I mean I agree, homie. That was all circumstantial. You know what I mean? But
mhm,
um, yeah, no, the Rapids, and again, we s- we've spoken about this plenty of times on the channel. Have done, in my opinion. Now you know me, bro. I've only been a Pities fan for not that long, but what I've seen of us, I've seen a team that has done good scouting. You know, the likes of Cheeto and Ian Murphy to be able to pick
huge.
two quality players from an MLS team um, that were pretty relevant for their squads. And not only that, like we let players go as well that could have been a dicey move as well. You look at the homie that went to Dallas. I don't know why Lala Abubakar. He was a mainstay in our lineup when he was fit as well, and a player that you're saying, you know what, we're gonna risk it to bring in something else and let him go. We did the same thing with Seb Anderson, who, I mean, he wasn't like the starting at his position, but we got rid of a homegrown type player to make way for Ian as well to come in to take that position. And I've said this plenty of times. They've not really skipped a beat. Tell me one of these players that has come in, bro, and has struggled to catch time. Cudi Petro, we haven't seen because he's been injured, but I guarantee you they probably did some good scouting with that dude. I know KTK is a big fan of him and is ready to see some game time from him. So, and it kind of goes full circle to what I asked you about Chris Armas and what I wanted to talk to him about, bro. It seems as though there's somewhat of a plan going on. Um, and also too, like I've said this as well too. The Rapids are doing a good job of trying to get more people engaged in what's going on. You know what I mean? Just social media wise, at the stadium wise, just whether if it's good or bad or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the whole club in general, it looks to be like they're kind of clicking and singing off of the same hymn sheet and for supporters like us, homie, that's fucking perfect.
it's really exciting to see. I think the 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 protest that our walkout in 23, I think was it exactly as loud as we hoped it would be. We were a little concerned that they would just ignore it. But since then, I'm new to C38, right? I've only been around C38 for a few years now. But what I've seen, the change, the access to front office, we've got people we can talk to. We can count on responses. Um, it's not like we're running anything or whatever, but at least that door is open. We're not just getting crickets or conflicting, whatever. There's a lot to say about Centennial 38's relationship with the front office now. And I think obviously the team looks more professional and more about being a contender in Major League Soccer instead of just a bunch of guys hoping, you know what I mean, that LAFC picks them up or
Yeah.
fucking Seattle picks them, you know what I mean? Like instead of a flyover team, like a layover. It looks like there's some people that are really on board with the project, and chief among them, Coach Armas, right? Coach really seems to really see this as the opportunity that I think it is, right? I mean, come on, he's a coach that doesn't have a whole lot of success, and the American guy leaving Manchester United, he was never gonna not get shit on Ted Lasso style, right? Like that just is too just topical, too low hanging fruit. And I agree with Crash that what you put up here. Huge, gargantuan, colossal, titanic if there. Um, but if the players are there, I think Armas is the right guy, man. I mean, I really like what I'm seeing. I like how he's not, he's not cowering behind a referee decision or, the weather or we were tired or like bullshit like that some coaches will do. He's like, I got it wrong, or the other team is better or whatever. He'll own up to it. And like I said, if anybody has an opportunity to like go to an event where like it's a coach appearance, you can just go like howdy at him and he'll just chat with you. You're not talking to a robot with a script, right? And I think that like whatever is informing that behavior, like that sort of like, I don't know if it's confidence or like what the type of guy that he is, I think is resonating well with the players. And you've got young leaders like Zach Steffen, Premier League champion Zach Steffen. Arguably, maybe I don't know if we're supposed to say that, but put him on the fucking board. Georgie, almost national team star. Like he's been almost broken through in Europe a couple of times. Did great like Olympics run or whatever the last fucking tournament he played in. Vines has been disappointing. That was supposed to be the trifecta of like superstars, right? But Vines is just back from injury. He got some minutes in Vancouver. I don't know if it's even fair to talk about his contribution in Vancouver. He showed up
I agree.
with a bucket. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he took the nice hat with him on the plane, though. He took the nice hat with him on the plane.
Shout out to Omar. If Omar's around, he was wearing the Burgundy Boys hat.
Yeah. Like that. Just real quick, Crash says KDP should be exciting. He thinks he fits the system very well. So, which would be another reason for we could just keep banging the drum and saying, hopefully, this is a sign of things to come. Some good scouting by some of these scouts, and bringing in players that are gonna want to fucking buy into the system. Because at the end of the day, bro, it is an attractive brand of football when it's on point. Tell me not, homie. When it's on point, bro, and the biddies are just flowing, it's some attractive football, bro. Even in some of the interviews that they do with Coach Armis and even some of the players, they refer a lot to the Liverpool way of playing. And when I said, I hear that, bro, and I'm like, yeah, dude, like
heavy metal
that's
football
fucking
type of yeah, dude.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, I love it. And I mean, who doesn't want to watch it? Who doesn't want to participate in that? Nobody wants to watch, outside of maybe Italy, nobody wants to watch chess matched catenaccio, like tactical defense bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a part of the game. Fine. You got to, competent defense is way better than, I mean, at least we're not fucking Toronto or something right now. I wonder who's got the worst difference. Toronto's getting smoked left and right, except for the 1-1 in Miami. Shout out.
Well, Galaxy's got a pretty bad goal difference as well. They're at -9 Galaxy.
Somebody's got to check on Greg Vanney, by the way, too, man. That guy, like, I'm not even going to make a joke about it. He's like unironic, like, actually seems to be having a really difficult time. Galaxy, fucking in shambles.
Yeah, bro.
So I was at ISC, the Independent Supporters Council conference in January, and we were getting fucking roasted for our TIFO against Galaxy. I met some of the Galaxy people, and they were great people. Shit, I don't remember which SG they were with. Galaxy has a bunch of different supporters groups, but they were super cool. But somebody was like, was there like a ladder? It looked like it couldn't have been a fucking ladder in the stadium, right? And I was like, yeah, it was a ladder, bro. Look, we don't have pulleys. It must be nice being fucking Galaxy, man. We're improvising. And now, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, karma works mysterious ways, man. Galaxy in the gutters.
Yeah.
Because they look down at ladders. And because Ricky Poop.
Yeah, tough one for them, homie. It goes to show you got to have a squad, not just a good player on your team. Because if you lose that entity, yep. Let's go. So yeah, I mean, bro, it's really not too much we could fucking sit here and fucking talk about the match, bro. It was just a horrible display. The good thing about it, homie, is and not to quote the manager again, homie, but he's full of good ones, bro. We gotta think like a goldfish. Where have we heard this before too? In Ted Lasso, right? You gotta think like a goldfish, homie.
Paying royalties to Apple TV here.
Yeah, for sure. And so, the best way to just get over that funk is to fucking show up this weekend against what's going to be a tough San Diego team, my homie.
Yeah, dude. On paper, it's another one that we should lose, just like Charlotte. Something that we do enjoy, I think this tends to be sort of true. Unfortunately, the weather is going to be beautiful, so San Diego is going to love that. But when these California Paradise teams come up here to the mountains to play, a lot of times you can see that their players are not in the mood. Like our players looked in Vancouver, body language is sour, they're sluggish. I know I was just saying let's not talk too much about the strength at altitude bullshit, but some of these superstar divas living in paradise don't want to play in the dry ass, windy ass Commerce City, Bitter Mountains. And hopefully that's going to be the case for San Diego. Expansion team taking it to everybody. What's his name? Dreyer. Looks like a superstar. Chucky Lozano just scored a great goal last weekend against, to be fair, dog shit Seattle team. I think it was Seattle, right?
They have some pretty extreme fans as well, homie. I'm pretty sure we will be expecting some here in Colorado as well.
I really hope they're cool, man, because they're bringing a bunch of people, and so sometimes those tailgates are just a great time when the visiting supporters bring a bunch of people. And I know the European mind is not going to be able to comprehend what I'm about to say here, but outside of like bitter rivalries, or if there's some really intense sort of beef going on, opposing teams will come and just party with us, man. And we'll just party at the tailgate. You know what I mean? You get your 90 minutes in. Maybe after that, not everybody is in the mood to hang out together.
Those Cali teams, though, they come with some their fans are hit or miss. You know what I mean? So that's, I just, like you said, I hope they come with the right energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hope they're cool. So they're bringing like 150 people, which in MLS terms is a pretty decent away group. If they're sometimes expansion teams, especially, well, San Diego, Los Angeles is not a San Diego Denver rivalry, right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I am seeing some chatter about it. Apparently, like I was just saying, sometimes these expansion teams, Austin did it, Atlanta did it, fucking Orlando did it when they made the jump from up into MLS. You got a bunch of fucking tough guys who watch Green Street Hooligans and they want to be fucking a la Brava or whatever. And you got a bunch of fucking bullshit tough guys that want to be like the toughest in the league. Like, they've not been paying attention to MLS and they're confident that, they're going to be the baddest, whatever. Yeah. You got a bunch of dumbasses that are going to just beat a bunch of people up and vandalize some shit. And then, you know what I mean? They're going to get it out of their system.
150? They're rolling deep.
I saw like 146 like a week ago.
Yeah, they're rolling deep.
So if they're cool, Saturday is going to be a wonderful party. If they're assholes, I hesitate to speak further on the topic on record.
Yes,
it's going to be unpleasant. It's going to be a real disappointment if they show up with on some bullshit, right? But hopefully they want to come eat hot dogs in the mountains, man. We got a great band on Saturday.
Nice.
It's really going to be a killer.
Other game. It was dope. They had the California music going, homie. They had the Dr. Dre. They were playing
Watermelon Funk,
Watermelon Funk, homie. I actually enjoyed that.
So. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, man.
So I don't know, man. On paper, I think we're not the favorites, like always. But I think especially against this San Diego team with some of their star power and Dreyer panned out way. I didn't hear really anybody talking about him performing the way that he is. They're not really conceding goals, man. What are they, 13-6? I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a tough one, and really it comes down to attitude again, right? If we show up like we did at Vancouver, we're going to get embarrassed. But if we show up, ready to defend our house like we did against Charlotte, I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah. I agree. I'm gonna have a stream, I believe, Friday night where we talk more about the game coming up. Probably by then the Rapids would have released, player availabilities and shit like that. So we'll know more or less who we are going to be playing with. We could then, I know I'm going to have a stream. I'll probably do like a predicted lineup and stuff like that, and dive more into the game as it gets closer. My homie, I'm going to wrap up the show there, but I mean, do you have any type of, anything that you want to plug, anything you want to, any final thoughts or anything like that, homie? Anything that maybe C38 has that or something like that, homie?
Yeah, so C38 has two cool events coming up actually. On May 3rd, that's a Saturday, for the DC away game, we're all taking a party bus out to the Lariat Lodge HQ out in Evergreen.
Oh, I
So
saw that.
I don't know. Can I share the info with you and you can maybe propagate that on your channels and stuff?
Oh, absolutely, homie.
Yeah, so you don't have to take the party bus if you don't want to. You're welcome to drive out there. We're going to get there a little bit early. We're going to do some mountain shit, right? We're going to hike around the mountains, not around the mountains. We're going to do a little trail around the brewery in Evergreen, and then go watch the game and take the bus back. That is 5/3, May 3rd for the DC away game. But then next weekend, we have the second Colfax bar crawl. Folks that aren't in Denver may not be aware that stretch of Colfax Avenue is going through a big construction project, and there's a lot of pubs and sports bars and restaurants and coffee shops and all sorts of shops and stuff
Small businesses. Yeah.
that really sort of survive on foot traffic.
Mm.
And so, we're not going to save anybody's business or whatever, but we're going to stop in and get a couple drinks in. We're doing a little route, and then we're going to end at DNVR for, I think we're going to do like a little prize party giveaway and shit. I don't know that yet. So now that that's on the record, I want to amend that by saying I don't know if there's going to be that type of event, but we are going to do a watch party. DNVR are excited to host us, and that's 4/19 next weekend for the Houston away game. So that's the next two like big C38 events we got coming up.
I'll be in London, homie. I'm taking off to London in a week, Wednesday. So actually, this time next week, I'll be over the Atlantic Ocean, homie, heading to see the Spurs play. I'm glad that I'm not gonna miss a home game because I like I told you backstage, bro. I really enjoy the vibes and just the shuffle when we score, homie. I enjoy just everything about it. The only thing I haven't enjoyed this season is the pesky Argus security, homie, which has been on one lately, homie. But we could probably have another stream just talking about those motherfuckers if we wanted to too, bro. But
I can't be on that stream. I can't. I'm not the guy. I can't be the guy that you talk to about Argus right now. But you're right. Security has been different. C38 will be propagating information as we learn it with our recommendations, etc. Now I have to sound like a robot because I'm going to get in trouble if I get too keen.
And now you know how it feels like,
bro. I can't do this one on stream. But we're working on it.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Well, look, my homies, I appreciate everybody that tuned in to watch this. Whether you're watching this live or on playback, I would appreciate if you could like the stream. We're trying to get this type of content pushed out to more MLS fans, or maybe even more Colorado Rapids fans that don't even know there's content coming out, my homies. But yeah, not only is it come on, you fucking Spurs, but it's also up the fucking pits, my homies. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for joining me, my homie.